So I had a thought recently. What if the solution to being buried by the algorithm isn't a new platform? It's actually a 30-year-old idea that we've already abandoned. History is repeating itself right now, and the people who see this pattern will own the next decade. I've spent the last 2 decades building technology companies and watching bubbles collapse and rebuild themselves and do it all over again. And so I'm always looking for the pattern underneath the pattern. I'm Angela Benton, and this is Thinking in Public, where I process the structural shifts happening in technology and culture out loud, not really as perfect, finished arguments, but as live thought experiments where you can actually think with me on these things. Here's what I'm saying. Every 30 years, culture kind of swings back on itself. Bell bottoms in the 70s came back in the 90s, and my mom was horrified. And right now, Gen Z is wearing low-rise jeans and carrying flip phones and opting for phones that aren't smartphones, not because they remember 2003, but because something about now feels deeply wrong and something about then feels deeply right. They're not being nostalgic. They're actually responding to a structure that's broken, and it's not just fashion, it's everything. The early internet was decentralized, personal websites, hand-coded pages, MySpace, blog rolls, RSS feeds. You owned your little corner of the internet. Then we traded it all for convenience. The algorithm, for the follow, for the reach that we honestly really didn't actually own. But here's the thing about 30-year cycles. They don't just repeat in culture. They repeat in technology. Economists call them contra waves, long economic cycles driven by technological revolutions that build up, saturate, collapse, and then, of course, rebuild again. And right now, we're in the collapse of the social media wave, which is why platforms like Dig are being relaunched by their original founders. Shout out to the Dig team. Why personal websites are having really a full-on renaissance, and why people are building Substacks and opting for blogs and email lists, spaces that, they actually control. This isn't nostalgia. This is actually that 30-year pendulum swing doing what it always does best, correcting an imbalance. Web 1.0 gave us ownership, but did not give us scale. Web 2.0 gave us scale, but took our sovereignty. And what's coming next is the synthesis of the two, the personality and control of Web 1.0 and the tools and the reach of Web 2.0. So stop asking, should I leave the platform? And start asking, what would I build if I knew the platform only had 1 year left? Because that question changes everything, and it's not about abandoning reach. It's about building a foundation underneath it. A personal website, an email list. You get where I'm going with this. A space that's actually yours, where the algorithm, quite frankly, can't touch you. Because here's what I think is going to happen next. In a world where AI can generate anything, provenance becomes the premium. Your website isn't a business card. It's proof of existence. It's how people find you and how you, as an individual, verify your own truth and authenticity, especially in an AI world. Platforms become what really, if you really think about it, they should have always been. Amplifiers and discovery channels that point back to something that you actually own or to the original source. The early internet is coming back not as nostalgia per se, but as infrastructure for an AI world. We're watching the pendulum swing as we speak. The question is, are you building the hub or are you renting the spoke? Let me know in the comments. Let's think on this together.